The Gorefield mod and lore in general are some of my favorites, and in this video, I want to speak specifically about all the forms of the Gorefield horoscope. And for those of you that are not familiar, there are 12 different Gorefield forms that will hunt you down based on when your birthday is. Now, I want to rank these transformations based on how screwed you'll be if they're the one that's actually chasing you. Before we get into it, let's figure out what Gorefield is chasing you. Now, if your birthday falls between March 21st and April 19th, you are being chased by Aries Gorifield. If your birthday is between April 20th and May 20th, you are being chased by Taurus Garfield. If your birthday is between May 21st and June 20th, you are being chased by Gemini Garfield. If your birthday is between June 21st and July 22nd, you are getting chased by Cancer Garfield. If your birthday is between July 23rd and August 22nd, you are being chased by Leo Garfield. If your birthday is between August 23rd and September 22nd, you are being chased by Virgo Garfield. People between September 23rd and October 22nd are being chased by Libra Garfield. Birthdays between October 23rd and November 21st are being chased by Scorpio Garfield. People who fall between November 22nd and December 21st are being chased by Sagittarius Garfield. If your birthday is between December 22nd and January 19th, you are being chased by Capricorn Garfield. For my people who fall between January 20th and February 18th, you are being chased by Aquarius Garfield. And lastly, if your birthday is between February 19th and March 20th, you are being chased by Pisces Garfield. Now that you know what Gorefield is chasing you, let's rank them based on how hard it will be to either get away from them or defeat them. And if you think that you could defeat your Gorefield, make sure to type "I would win" in the comments or a skull if you think you would lose, and also put what Gorefield you got. Now, the top of the list has to be Pisces Garfield. This monster is basically a well-sized rain god that has the ability to flood cities if he so chooses. Think about like a mini version of Kyogre from Pokemon. Now, the reason that this one makes the top of the list is because he is like an obsessive personality type and can become absolutely obsessed with people and objects. In this case, Pisces is obsessed with you and will do anything to add you to his underwater collection of treasure. Now, this character is dangerous because he plays a game with you where he makes it rain in your area, and if you ever get completely soaked, you will be transported to his underwater prison where you will obviously drown. Now, some of you may not be thinking that like a little rain is that bad, but remember that he's willing to flood your whole city or town in order to get to you. You would basically have to be constantly driving to different areas in order to stay dry. And if you're like a young kid, or if you just don't have a car, this would pretty much be like a never-ending nightmare. Next, I think we have to go with Cancer Gorefield, and you people that have this one are going to be in a bit of trouble. This guy is a giant crab, and that within itself would be enough to take out most people, but he also has a very powerful ability. He can make you feel as though you are super powerful. Think like Toji from JJK. And to make matters worse, once you have this newfound confidence, you will actually seek him out by going to the island that the crab lives on to face him in a 1v1. But once you're actually standing in front of the monster, it turns off that power, and then you remember that you're just a normal person, and now you have to actually fight this giant crab. And when I say giant, I'm not just talking about like the size of a car or something like that. Think of a large house. This one is definitely one of the more dangerous ones because it can basically mind control you, and it's very hard to fight against anything that actually attacks your brain. Next, I'm going to go ahead and put Virgo Gorefield, and this guy is so dangerous because he's basically a anglerfish. What I mean by this is that he has a tentacle on his head that can transform into the ideal partner for you. This means that if you ever see it, you will actually see the love of your life. And then when you actually get close to it, the full body of the Gorefield will be revealed, which is the size of a small school bus, and devour you. I think the only people that would actually be able to like resist this Gorefield would be people who are ace, which is not a lot of the population when you think about it. Most people are attracted to somebody. Next, I'm going to add Sagittarius Gorefield, and this one is interesting because it could go like well for you in a way. This version of Gorefield is a gambling addict that gambles with your life instead of money. He has magic arrows that he can shoot at you, and while they don't actually hurt you, they can change your luck. So they can either make you super lucky like Domino, where you are basically unstoppable, winning money at the casino, getting everything that you desire, or it can make you the most unluckiest person on the planet. So basically imagine not being able to even take a step without something terrible happening to you. Even though this one could be positive, I think I have to rank it this high because more than likely, you're probably going to get a bad result, or at least you'll get one eventually, which makes this one super dangerous. Next, I'm going to place Gemini Garfield here, and the reason that he makes it so high on this list is because he's basically a doppelganger. What I mean by that is that this guy can actually transform into an identical copy of you, and if that was the end of his power, it wouldn't be that bad. But his transformed state is actually 2 or 3 times more powerful than you. So imagine fighting a bigger, stronger, and faster version of yourself. It would be almost impossible to win like in a fair 1v1. The only reason I didn't rank this Gorefield higher is because it doesn't do anything for its intelligence when it transforms into you. So there is still a chance that you can outsmart it and possibly set a trap. I think next up, I'm going to go with Leo Gorefield, and this one is actually really interesting to me. This monster has the ability to raise the dead, but he cannot decide who he actually raises. So basically, he casts his magic and a random dead person in the area will come back to life. So it's kind of like a coin flip. Maybe you get some old broken down man that can barely move, or you get unlucky and you get like a young army vet that passed away in battle, or some buff bodybuilder or something. And for those of you that think that you can outsmart or outrun a zombie, these zombies have the skill to where they can basically keep all the knowledge that they had in life, and they also get to keep their intelligence as well. So in a way, it's almost like you're fighting a living person, but they don't really feel any pain or anything like that, which is what makes them so dangerous. Next, we have Aries Gorifield, and this one is dangerous because it tries to come after you while you're sleeping. And it also has the ability to eat your dreams and leave you with like horrible nightmares. And really, if that was the end of it, that wouldn't be too bad. But when Aries eats your dreams, he also takes a little bit of your life force as well. So if he gets you too many times, you will eventually never wake up again. And for those of you that think that you will just stay awake or that you're night owls, the closer that Aries gets to you, the sleepier you get. So in order to survive this one, you basically need to always be moving with at least one other person. This version of Gorefield is kind of like the creature from that movie It Follows. I don't know if any of you actually seen that movie. Next, we have Capricorn Gorifield, and this one is dangerous because it uses tech in order to get to you. It can use TVs, cell phones, and radios in order to deliver messages to you that will basically make you start to behave recklessly. And what I mean by that is, like, usually you're probably a very sensible person, but once you see some of these messages pop up on your phone or on the TV, then you may start doing things that are a little bit crazy. Maybe running out in the street while there's traffic, maybe jumping off a roof to see if you can land unharmed, but all in all, just doing things that can definitely endanger your life. And while this one isn't too bad, I don't think a lot of you could go the rest of your life without tech, or at least not without your cell phone, right? Maybe TV, maybe the radio, but cell phone will probably be hard for a lot of people. But if you could do that, this one isn't actually too hard to survive. You can just like move out to the woods in some rural area and live a fairly normal life just without technology. And if you really wanted to be safe about it, you can even go find like a Amish community or something to live amongst because they have no technology just about. Next, we have Scorpio Garfield, and while he is a giant scorpion, he actually isn't too hard to get away from. This monster will basically make you have visions of your own death every day. So maybe if you're a skateboarder, you'll actually see yourself like skating at the skate park and then you like fall and crack your head. But as long as you just stay away from the skate park that day, the prophecy will not be able to be fulfilled, so you'll be fine. I think when you really think about it, this character is just super annoying because at worst, he's basically just like ruining your day because now you can't do the thing you wanted to do. But as long as you don't tempt fate, it's really easy to avoid this one. Next, we have Taurus Garfield, and this guy is actually the Garfield that I fall under. And if I'm being honest, he isn't too bad. All you really have to do is give up some knowledge and he won't hunt you down at all. The only downside to this is that it has to be something valuable and you can never get it back. For example, let's say that you're religious, right? And you gave up your knowledge of God or your like religion. That would probably be something that would count as valuable and something that the God would take, but you would no longer be able to actually tap into your religion at all. So you just really have to be smart about what you give up, and you can't give up something that is seen as like useless or not actually valuable, because then of course this Gorefield will take you out. So to sum it up, basically you can't try to scam them. Next, we have Libra Garfield, and this guy is actually pretty chill. Libra doesn't chase you down, but instead holds court every month and judges the choices that you've made that month. Libra's whole thing is like balance, so he doesn't want you to be too good or too evil, but rather just a normal person. So as long as you don't do too much in any one direction, you'll basically be fine. And if you're like me, I try to keep to myself anyway, so I think I would be good every month. The final Gorefield is Aquarius, and this guy basically just wants to be friends with you. And as long as you give him a little bit of your blood each day, he will do whatever you ask of him. Now, the only downside with that is that this Gorefield is about the size of a house cat, but he does move like a ninja, meaning that he is super sneaky. And while he's not going to be like a personal assassin or anything for you, he can definitely make like the lives of your enemies a lot harder. But of course, if you don't give him blood, then he can also make your life a lot harder. But I think the people who are Aquarius babies kind of got off easy here, because you basically just have your own little kitty ninja at your side. Make sure to put down in the comments if you think you'd actually survive your Gorefield, and check out this video on the screen next, and we'll see you tomorrow with another video. Peace, peace.